Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media and sports journalist here with a team preview today. We're going to try to get these knocked out over the summer. We're getting into the month of April next week, so we still got some time, but also at the same time, time is very limited. So we're going to try to do our best to get as many of these Power Four teams as possible. Hopefully, we get them all. We've done quite a few so far. I know we've done teams like Florida, Florida State, Bama, Georgia, Clemson, the big names. Speaking of big names, looking at Miami today, and I think they could be a good team next year. I really do. I think that they kind of take a step back a little bit in terms of talent. Obviously, guys like Cam Ward are going to be gone. They bring in guys from the transfer portal and stuff. James Brockemeyer started out at Alabama, went to TCU. Francis Mauigoa comes back for his junior year. He's from IMG Academy, former five-star on the O line. He's going to be good. Going to be a top prospect in the draft. Hopefully next year we'll see. Emory Williams comes in at quarterback as a redshirt sophomore. Um, they have. I think the big thing is going to be. Well, how do I put this? I don't think there's a quarterback battle. Some out there might disagree with that, but I think it's Carson Beck's job to lose. He comes in from Georgia. He's a 6-year senior. He's a red shirt. He's home to Jacksonville, Florida. He comes in, and I think he's going to do okay. I do. I think the big question is his interceptions and can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, he'll be good. If he cuts back on his interceptions, unlike what he did at Georgia, which even at Georgia, he was still one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC last year before injury, and the year before that. So he's got talent, and then he's got talent around him that I think could be really, really good and beneficial. I really believe that, and I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and try to hype up Miami and hype up fans and say he's gonna be just as good, if not better than Cam Ward. I'm not gonna do that. I know nobody wants to do that, and anyone that says that, at least for right now, would be crazy to say anything like that about Carson Beck. Now, is he a good quarterback? Yeah. Does he have a future in football? I think so, but I got to see it too. Like I can't stress that point enough. So, but when you look at what they did last year with Cam Ward, who's going to be possibly the number one pick in the draft, they went 10-3 overall, 6-2 in the ACC. They did lose their last two games, which were both very close. Their three losses, too, were all one possession games. Georgia Tech on the road was 28-23 on November 9th. They lost to Syracuse 42-38 on the last weekend of the season. And then the Pop Tarts Bowl in Orlando to Iowa State, who I think could be one of the better teams of the Big 12 next year. 42-41, really good game there in the Pop Tarts Bowl. You could say whatever you want to about competition. You could say it was kind of iffy, it was weak. I wasn't big on the non-con for Miami. Florida A&M, Ball State, and USF blew out all of those teams, and they blew out Florida week one. Now, I've talked about Florida on here. I'm not going to reiterate anything other than I thought that Florida had a up and down season. They had a tough schedule, and part of it was a game like Miami. Now, Miami had to go on the road, and I thought, made a statement right out the gate. It looked like, okay, well, Miami blew out Florida in the swamp, so and that's a big rivalry. But then people on the other side of the coin wanted to say, well, no, no, no. Florida's just going to be that bad. And it turned out Florida ended up winning 6 or 7 games. So I don't know. But I look at Miami last year and I say it was a really, really good team. Had a case for the playoffs at 10-2, but obviously did not get that bid. So, what about this year? Are they taking a step forward or a step back? I think they're taking a step back, but I feel like it's not going to be as big of a step back as we think it is. I think ultimately you'll see Miami just be Miami, and who they are. I think Mario Cristobal is a good head coach. I don't think he's necessarily great. I thought he was great at Oregon. I'll say that. But right now, I would put him as a slightly above average head coach. And that's just my personal opinion. Um, I think his recruiting's amazing. I really do. I think he's got the talent. And I think he could hit 10 wins this year too. But, it's not something for Miami that you want to place all your money. Like, if this were a poker table, I would not go all in and put my chips in front of me. If you said, okay, here's your cards, and you pick up the cards, and it says Miami to the playoffs. I'm not taking my poker chips and sliding them and saying all in. No, 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 no. I'm not there yet. But I do like the direction that they're going in. And speaking of that, let's just go ahead and break down the schedule a little bit. Um, so let me do this. There we go. I like that better. So Notre Dame right out the gate. You could say that's going to be a loss, but we'll see. We'll see. Notre Dame we've looked at. Notre Dame loses guys like Riley Leonard and company. They're coming off a national championship loss to Ohio State, but they had a terrific season outside of and after that loss to NIU, Northern Illinois. So then you get Bethune Cookman. That's always hard for me to say. USF, Florida. Notice something. Your first four games, all at home. Two of them are Power Four. Two of them are Group of Five. All of them are non-conference. Kind of, sort of. I mean, Notre Dame technically non-con because they're still independent. Then you get a bye week. And this is where I say Miami got the bad luck of the draw because you get a bye week on September 27th. That's not bad timing. You go to Florida State. But what is this? Another bye week? You get time for Florida State, who just had the worst record of anybody in the Power Four. You have to take a bye week to prepare for that. Okay, that's fine. Why is this here on October 11th after that? So, and then you have Louisville, then you have Stanford, then you have SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and at Pitt. Here's the thing. I'm giving you my Atmos record predictions too. Just being real, I'm going to go ahead and throw it up here that I think they could go 10-2. And I'm not going to say that's easily 10-2. I just think that they could be that good, possibly. And if that's their at most, I think they lose to Notre Dame. And if they drop another game, maybe you're looking at the on the road at SMU, another playoff team from last year, by the way. They bring a bit back, and I think they'll be amped up and ready to go. I look at this though, where would you let me know in the comments if they went worse than 10-2? What's their floor? And also, if they don't hit 10-2, then what is their ceiling? I'm not going to say I don't know because I'm thinking maybe it's 9-3 and 8-4. The thing is, I just expect Miami to be better than nine times out of 10, like each of these teams. Now, here's the tricky part. I look at Virginia Tech and Pitt. I'm not gonna last second change my record prediction or anything like that, but it would not surprise me if they drop one or both of these games here. Blacksburg, tough. Pittsburgh, tough. Pitt loves to pull upsets in the ACC. You get them late in the year. SMU going to be one of those teams that I did pick as a loss. I think you get some pretty interesting games at home. Syracuse, could be tricky. Syracuse plays teams tough, especially Clemson. NC State, uh, they could lose. Here's the thing. I got them losing to Notre Dame week 1 in a close one. They could drop Florida. They could drop Florida State. Again, mystery teams 2025 Florida State. Florida, we know they're going to be possibly better. Are they going to be good enough to go on the road and beat Miami? That's a big question I have. Syracuse and NC State, I'm giving you at most here because it's very hard to come up with the exact nailed down record prediction. And I'm saying at most, Miami looks like a 10-win team this next season. I know they lose Cam Ward. I understand that. They bring in Carson Beck. Now, if he could cut down interceptions, I think he's a really good, talented quarterback. It's possible he goes in there and sucks it up. That's possible. But it's also possible that he could be the guy. Now, he's not going to be what Cam Ward has been, not anywhere near that. But he could still be serviceable enough. You have the talent on offense that you could make this offense really, really good. I mean, I like Nye Carr. I like Chance Robinson. I like some of these guys that they have. Ray Joseph. I'm naming names. I don't know who exactly they're going to go with. And again, I'm doing like put it in this perspective too. I'm doing this before we watch Miami spring game. If they're having one, they should be. But like we're doing some of these previews before we've even like we got spring practice going on, but we haven't played spring games yet for anybody. So until we actually see these teams on the field, it's hard to come up with everything. But yeah, 10-2 losses, most likely Notre Dame and SMU. If I had to give it to them, they could lose to Florida again. Florida State mystery team, Florida mystery team. They could lose those games. I think a ceiling is 10-2, and a floor would be 8-4, 9-3. Not any less than 8-4 for Miami. My personal opinion. But gotta hear from you guys in the comments. I love you. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys. We will see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. Have a good day.